Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I bet you probably thought you would never hear me say those words again. To tell you the truth, I never thought I would say those words again either, but here we are. It has been over a year now since I posted my last video. I think it was it was April of 2021, and now here we are in July of 2022. So, if anybody's out there, if anybody's watching, welcome back. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. My name is Jeremy, otherwise known as Mascara Masquerade on all of my social media. And yeah, it's been a while. I figured since this is my first video back in quite a while that I would kind of start slow, get myself reacquainted with doing this whole YouTube thing, getting myself on camera again. It's been a long fucking time. And I thought I would just start with something very basic, a no makeup look, which I know is kind of boring. But again, give me a break. We'll get myself reacquainted with doing all of this all over again. And then we'll get into some fun stuff a little bit later on. So I am fresh faced. I did all of my skincare. It was very basic. I just used it's a knockoff of the Cetaphil cleansing bar. It's like the Walmart brand. And I've been using those now for probably about a year, and I really do like them quite a bit. And then I used the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors plus Hyaluronic Acid as my moisturizer. And then I used the Brighten Eye cream from the Inky List, and that's been sitting on my skin for maybe about 10 minutes or so. Now, when I washed my face today, I did use one of those like small white scrubby pads that you can get in a pack at like Walmart or Meijer or one of those stores, just because I did have a little bit of dry, flaky skin in certain areas of my face, because I have been using tretinoin cream for almost a year now. I'm still just using the 0.05%, and I worked my way in slowly to using it almost every day. But what I did notice is it's like my skin just always was peeling when I did get to the point where I was using it almost every day, and putting any kind of makeup on my skin the following day, even exfoliating quite a bit to get that loose skin off. Makeup just wasn't really sitting very well on top of that. So I basically have just gone to maybe like twice a week using the tretinoin cream. But even backing off on it, I have noticed some results using that, even not quite as frequently. My skin's probably the clearest now it's been in many, many years. So it's doing pretty good. As far as a no makeup look, I still definitely use quite a bit of products, but I go in with many very thin layers. I have really been liking this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. I use mine in the shade Too Light. I basically just give it a really good shake to mix all of the product together. It comes with a doe foot applicator, but I actually don't use that on my face because I don't like to put that on my face and then stick it back into the bottle and contaminate the rest of the product. So what I do is I take a little palette here, and I just kind of take the doe foot and apply it to the palette. And if you've never used the Hollywood Flawless filter, I really like this product a lot, because it's kind of everything. It can be a primer if you want to use it that way. It can be a highlighter. It can be a very low coverage foundation. It can really be an all-in-one product for you. I like to apply mine with this MAC brush. This is the 128. Now, it basically has synthetic bristles on the one side and then natural bristles on the other. And what I like about this is that you can take the synthetic bristled side and kind of tap it into the product there. And I just kind of hit like the forehead area. I do a little bit on the cheeks. Just kind of bouncing that product around and kind of getting it where I want it first before I start blending out. Some on the nose and a little bit on the chin here. And then I just kind of go in and start really tapping and blending the product out from there. It does have a really glowy effect on the skin. And as somebody with oily skin that's really been, I definitely combated that or tried to combat that for many, many years of my life. But I feel like over the past several years, glowy skin has really been in. I mean, that's kind of what everybody's going for. That's what everybody wants to look like, is really plump, dewy, wet skin kind of look. And since my skin just naturally does that anyway, I'm like, why am I even trying to fight it? If you can't beat them, join them, you know? And realistically, in my real life, I'm not wearing makeup really at all ever. I wear makeup enough to get some pictures taken for social media, and then get those posted and pretty much immediately wash off my makeup. I am a hairdresser, as a lot of you may know, and where I work, we are still masking. I just feel like it's pointless to wear any makeup when you're wearing a mask. I think it's really pointless. When we first went back to work 2 years ago, I was just kind of doing foundation from like here up, and I would do some eye makeup. But what I found is with all of the talking and all of the steam coming out from underneath your mask and going into your eyes, it was just wrecking my eye makeup. I was looking like Marilyn Manson or Alice Cooper halfway through the day, and I'm like, what's even the point of this? Why am I doing this? So I really just kind of stopped wearing makeup altogether. And so not wearing makeup on a daily basis like I used to, I just kind of got out of practice. And so then I stopped doing it, you know, even for filming videos, posting content on my Instagram. And the way that the algorithm is working on Instagram these days, it's getting more and more just like almost pointless to do it, you know what I mean? Because I'll spend like 4 or 5 hours doing a makeup look to maybe get like 25 likes on it. So there's just little to no interaction happening on Instagram. And so that's really discouraging. And so I just kind of don't really do it at all anymore. So I would like to get back into it a little bit here and there. So again, I thought this would be a good place to start with just something very basic, something very easy. And so you'll notice I didn't even really take this product like up into my hairline or like all the way out to the edges of my face. Now that I've got that pretty much applied all over where I want it, I'm gonna go to the other side that has the natural fibers, and I'm just gonna kind of go over the top and just kind of skim everything that I applied. And what that's gonna do is it's just gonna pick up a little bit more of the product into the bristles, and it's just kind of taking it down a little bit, you know, it's making it a little less producty. I am gonna go in with just a tiny bit of this on this little fluffy brush. This is a Morphe E38. Yes, I still do use a lot of Morphe brushes, even though those aren't really that popular anymore. I've always been very happy with my Morphe brushes, as you guys know. I'm gonna take the tiniest little bit of that and almost go just where you would highlight the inner corner of your eye. And again, this product is great because it does kind of give you that light reflection, like the tiniest little bit of coverage. There's just not a lot of coverage, but I feel like with the light reflection, it just kind of helps to kind of conceal anything that might be a little bit dark. So if you look between this eye and this eye, it's a subtle difference, but it is a difference. So I feel like if I'm able to mostly fix those problem areas with something that's very low coverage like this, then there's just not a lot more makeup that I really need to put on. And the less layers you have on and the less makeup you have on, especially at my age, I mean, shit, I'm gonna be 43 next week, so I'm not getting any younger here, but I feel like the thinner the coverage, the better the makeup's gonna look, the less makeup-y it's gonna look on the skin. And at this point in my life, I'm just not trying to have like that full coverage, full mask of foundation. It's just not where I'm at. So now for concealer, I'm gonna go in with, I'm still using the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. It comes in a little pot. I use mine in the shade NW20, and then I use this MAC, it's either a 104 or a 184. It's kind of rubbed off, so I'm not exactly sure, but it's just a little concealer brush. I take the smallest amount on just the very tip of those bristles. And what I like to do as far as concealer goes, in the under eye area especially, now I know it's always been the big thing to like goop on like a whole bunch of fucking concealer and then blend it out from there. And everybody kind of thinks that it gives you like this like really flawless, like blanked out under eye, this like brightened under eye effect. And I always feel like if you have any kind of like hollowness or if you have darkness, you know, you can kind of see, you know, just right here where you see like the line of the socket of my eyes, which is where kind of some of that darkness and some of that shadow is on my face. What I like to do, instead of going in and really just packing on concealer into the entire under eye area, I go in with the tiniest amount of concealer, now that I've kind of got everything brightened and smoothed out a little bit with the Hollywood Flawless filter. And I like to go in and just paint right over top of the dark area. And the further you are away from a mirror, I feel like it ends up looking better overall. I'm actually looking past the camera and into my vanity mirror instead of doing it in the mirror that's right here in front of my face, because I feel like if you're doing it close up, you're gonna be more likely to really pack that product on, to really blank everything out, where if you're doing it from a distance and you're covering the darkness that you see from far away, which is really the way that people in real life are gonna see you, it's like you don't need as much product and you don't need to cover up as much. Because like I've got this darkness right here that kind of follows the eye socket itself, but right up above that, and you can see it on this side too, there is that area of lightness right here in that center. So like, why would you paint light on something that already is light? Does that make sense? I'm just kind of going in and following that dark area and very lightly with very little product kind of covering that. And the less product, the thinner the layers, the more skin-like it's going to appear. It's not gonna look all caked up with, you know, makeup. And in this area especially, and the older you get, the more makeup you have there, even if you are brightening and covering up a lot of dark stuff, if you have a really thick layer of makeup there, plus your powder that you're setting it with and everything else, you're not gonna look any younger, especially in real life, you know? If somebody does get a little bit closer up to you, it's just gonna look really thick, it's gonna look really makeup-y, and that's just not how I'm trying to look. Now, I don't know how things are reading on camera, but in real life, this is pretty much all corrected. The darkness is pretty much gone. Obviously, you're gonna still see a little bit of that line where that eye socket is, but if you look at this side compared to this side, and that was just a very little bit of makeup and just very strategically placed. which honestly, I feel like when I get into doing new videos here on my channel, I think that instead of just doing, like the eyeshadow channel that I was doing for like a couple of years there and basically making the same video over and over again, I think that I would like to get a little bit more kind of educational and really make these videos something where you really can take something and you really can learn from what I'm doing instead of me just sitting here on camera blending out a makeup look and just kind of running my mouth and talking about nothing, which I mean, I do like a good get ready with me type video. I still really do like that. But I feel like I haven't really been watching that much beauty content on YouTube, except for maybe like, I really do like Lisa Eldridge, is that her name? That's the kind of content that I like. I think those are the kind of videos that I would like to make, where I really am sitting down and trying to teach you something, make it so that you really can take something away from my video instead of me just kind of sitting here and doing the exact same makeup look for every video and talking about the same shit in every video. I definitely was getting very repetitive there. And honestly, I feel like people that do this and post like 5-6 videos a week, I don't know where people just I don't know where people stay motivated to do it without feeling like you really are making the same content over and over and over. So I thought this would be a great chance to just kind of sit down, get myself reacquainted with filming content. Hopefully the editing process doesn't take that long. That was another big thing too. I felt like I was making the same video over and over again. And then just like editing a video is such a bitch because I take so long to do anything, especially if I'm doing a full face of makeup. And basically I would have like 2 or 3 hours worth of footage that I would then try to condense down into something watchable, and it was just a lot. I got sick of looking at myself and listening to myself. So again, I think if I can make videos that are a little bit more kind of like pinpointed, specific, so like how to cover up a blemish, how to make realistic looking eyebrows if you don't have any, things that are just a little bit more like tailored and a little bit more specialized to an actual part of doing makeup rather than just sitting down doing the same look, doing the same video over and over and over again. I don't think that this channel is ever going to it's never gonna get really huge. It's probably never gonna get a lot of views. I'm not very consistent. It's kind of all over the place. I feel like even my Instagram is kind of all over the place now too. And again, this is definitely not ever going to be a career for me. I already have a career, but I would like to get back into it, and I would like to just create some more YouTube content because I really was having fun with it for a while, and it just kind of stopped being fun after a little while. So just a little bit of spot concealing here and there. I'm not going in and using a foundation all over everything because again, the Hollywood Flawless filter, I really do think it's a good substitute for foundation if you've pretty much got your skin tone and your skin texture kind of even. It really can be a one and done, and then just kind of go in and spot conceal and just perfect those little areas that might just need a little bit more fine tuning. So then I'm going to set this a little bit. I'm going to use the Next to Nothing pressed powder from MAC. This one has been discontinued for I think 2 years now. I really like this stuff. Mine is in the shade Light, And I think that probably the closest one to this that I found is the Wet n Wild. I used to use it on my channel years back, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. I liked that one a lot because it was very, very lightweight. There wasn't a lot of pigment to it. They did come in several different shades. I hope that that product's still around, because once I am finished with this compact, I'm really gonna want something that is similar to this. So again, I feel like that was like the closest one. But again, this is just gonna kind of knock down some of the intense shimmer that I have from that Charlotte Tilbury product, but it's still gonna let that shine through. So you still are gonna have the dewiness, but it's just going to set everything down into place a little bit. Again, I am very oily, so a lot of that intense glow is going to come back through at some point. And I'm also gonna set my under eye area with this same powder. I'm not going in with something lighter and brighter, not yet. I'm using this Sigma tapered highlighter. This is the F35, and just the tiniest amount of that powder, and just kind of hit right underneath. Now, I'm sure that you'll notice when I'm applying my powder products, I'm not going in and swiping. I'm really going in and tapping that product in. And that way we're not pushing product around, we're not disturbing any of that. We're just setting everything into place. And again, see how that just kind of takes down some of that intense shimmer from that product, but my skin still looks like skin, so that's the goal. I'm then gonna go into this Z palette here. So I've got a couple of the MAC Skinneralized. I have a couple of the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powders. So this is like a rose one that they don't make anymore. And then I've got a gradient of like a lighter, a mid-tone. And this one is Give Me Sun, which I don't really use a lot. Pretty much what I do is I take a brush and I kind of bounce back and forth between these two shades right here, which, let's see, this one is medium plus, and then this one is medium dark. And again, just kind of going back and forth and bouncing into both of those. And what I do with this powder is then I'll go onto the perimeter of my face and just kind of almost slowly build up a little bit of, I wouldn't even necessarily call this a contouring step, but just kind of shaping my face a little bit more. I don't really do a lot of intense contouring because I've had quite a bit of like cheek filler over the last year. And so I feel like just a little bit in this area here just kind of helps to enhance that a little bit more, and definitely gives it a little bit of a chiseled look there, but without having to go in and doing like a full on like crazy contoured kind of look, you know what I mean? Because I contoured my face with filler, so I don't really need to do it with makeup so much anymore, which for me was the goal of the filler, not only to kind of like plump out my cheeks and kind of get rid of the hollowing that I had underneath my eyes, but again, it just makes it so it's less steps that I have to do with my makeup, because it's just already, my face has that shape again now. I do take that just kind of down into the beard area a little bit, just so it has almost like a little bit of shadow behind that stubble. So then on a MAC 137, which is like a blush brush or a powder brush, I like this one because it's very soft and it's very just kind of like fluffy. It's dirty. All my brushes are dirty today. I haven't cleaned any of them in a long ass time. But I'm gonna use this Urban Decay Beach Bronzer. This is in the shade Sunkissed, and I like this one because it's definitely, I don't know how it reads on camera, but it is like a pinky kind of bronzer, which is great for my skin tone. And I'm pretty much gonna use this as a blush. I'm gonna take that and just kind of hit the top of the cheekbones here and almost applying it like a blush, but kind of wrapping it up here around the temples a little bit. Maybe a little bit across the forehead here, just to warm things up. A little across the nose, down here on my chin, maybe down here, just a tiny bit. I didn't use any foundation, I didn't use any concealer, any of that on my neck, but I will take just a little bit of that. So what I'm gonna do now is, on that same Sigma tapered highlighter brush that I use to kind of set down my under eyes, is I am gonna go into a little bit of this. This is a MAC Studio Fix. This is, I don't know what shade it is because it's not labeled, but I think it's like an N4, and just taking the tiniest bit, I'm not swirling into that product, I'm literally just tapping into it. I'm gonna go in and just kind of set the under eye area. This is gonna give me just a little bit of extra coverage. This kind of acts as like a powder concealer, which is really how I use it anymore. I don't use Studio Fix all over my entire face as a foundation, but I do find that as, like, again, a powder concealer, it really does kind of work for that once you've got, you know, the rest of your makeup on, and you might have like a few areas here or there that just need a little bit of extra coverage. I find that this really helps to give you that without adding a ton of thickness or a ton of product. A little bit here. And this is just gonna kind of almost give me a little bit of a lip lift. If you noticed, I did use a little bit of concealer in this area earlier, and that just kind of lifts the corner of the mouth, which there actually, my mouth is like a little bit lifted in the corners anyway, because a few months ago I did get some filler here and here, because I was starting to get really bad marionette lines and they were getting really deep, so we just kind of plugged those holes up a little bit, which in turn kind of did like turn up the corners of my mouth a little bit, so that's been kind of helpful. But yeah, that is pretty much the skin makeup. That's the foundation, the concealer, and then eyebrows. We will do a little bit of that too. Obviously my eyebrows are microbladed, so I don't really have to do a lot there. Now, when I'm doing a full face of, like, you know, like the full foundation and the eyeshadow and the glitter and all that bullshit, I will go in and completely just redraw the eyebrows on, because I just feel like it looks more complete that way. But for a no makeup look, I already have the base of my eyebrows down, so then I can just really quickly go in with one product, kind of enhance them a little bit, warm them up a little bit. Any areas that, like, I've got almost like a little bald patch right in there that I need to fill in, you know, that kind of stuff. And for that, we're still going in with our good old Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. I use mine in the shade Chocolate, and I've done pretty good on this one. We're almost done with it. And I use the Anastasia, is this the number 12 brush? I don't know. It's a double-ended. It's got the brush on one end and it's got the spoolie on the other. The spoolie I don't use because I don't have any actual eyebrow hairs. You know what I do use the spoolie for, though, is when I am cleaning my makeup brushes. These little guys, the eyelash combs that get like the mascara in there, I'll take a little bit of soap on this spoolie and I'll just like clean out the mascara out of the mascara comb there, or the eyelash comb there, and it's really helpful for that. But again, since I don't have any eyebrow hairs, I'm not taking a spoolie through them. But I just put a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and I go in. Now, I have always found that the hardest part of doing makeup on camera is my eyebrows, because the way that I do my eyebrows in real life is I'm like in the fucking mirror like this, and you can't see shit. So this is kind of what I do in real life, but not quite. So again, I do have a mirror down here in front of me, and I'm going to try to do this so that you can see and I can see. but basically just a few little strokes here and there. I don't want to go too crazy with it because again, this is like a no makeup look. So I'm not trying to have the eyebrows look like I've really done anything to them. No, I do believe that any amount of makeup is going to look like makeup to some extent, but the less detectable, the better. Hopefully I've got the lighting situation okay here. That was another thing, like the last couple of videos that I made, I had that brown hair that I had done, and I fucking hated that shit. And so I couldn't get the lighting correct at all. Like I couldn't even do makeup for photos because I don't know what it is about like the pale skin and the dark hair and the beard here, but like the lighting was always constantly wanting to like blow my face out, and I couldn't even correct it in like Facetune. It was like it was pointless to even try to do makeup, but now that I've got my blonde hair back, that's not as much of an issue. But again, I haven't filmed a video in over a year, so if my lighting seems off, hopefully I'll be able to sort that out. We do have the background noise, I'm sure you noticed from the air conditioning unit here, but I wasn't turning that off because it is pretty much impossible to put makeup on sweaty, wet skin. So I figured we can just kind of all deal with the air conditioning noise until things start to cool down here in Northeast Ohio. I hope it's not too annoying for you guys. Yeah, so again, when I'm doing a full eyeshadow look with like all of the foundation and all of that stuff, not only will I go in with the dip brow pomade, but then I'll also go in with the brow pen from Anastasia, and this is in a darker shade. This one is in ebony, and so I'll go in and I'll do like my base layer with the chocolate to kind of warm them up and fill them in a little bit, and then I'll go back in with the brow pen and add like darker hair strokes into that too, just to make them more intense, which I just think looks really cool with like an intense eyeshadow look. I just think it brings it all together and I think it looks better. But in a situation like this, where again, we've got a no makeup look, I'm not trying to have like a no makeup and then like cartoon 3D eyebrows either, you know what I mean? And so again, you'll notice that I didn't use any kind of eyeshadow, even like the Urban Decay Naked eyeshadow, to kind of line the eyes or any of that kind of stuff. I kept everything. I kept my lids bare. I didn't put anything there because again, it's like no makeup. So I didn't really want to enhance my eyes that much. I do find that when you're using your concealer, if you don't take it all the way up to your lash line, if you'll notice, I took it up into that corner and I kept it just right underneath where I would normally smoke out my eyeshadow. And by leaving that bare and just leaving that my natural skin tone there, my eyes just kind of have some natural definition, because I just didn't put any product there. So that's just like my natural skin tone. My lids, they're not very veiny or anything like that, so they didn't need anything. You could always, curl your lashes or do something like that if you wanted to enhance your eyes even more. I am gonna finish things off with a little bit of the Lanolips tinted lip balm. This is in the shade Perfect Nude. I love this stuff. Everything that I've ever used from Lanolips, I've really liked a lot. And not only that, but their customer service is fucking tits. So and I know that I talked about this in a video a couple of years ago, but it's been a long time, so I will bring this up again. So this product is very thick in the tube. If you keep it in your pocket, or if you keep it in your bra, if you wear one of those, or if you you've got the product warmed up, it will come out super, super fast and really liquidy. But if it's just kind of like sitting on a table or sitting in a drawer or whatever, it's very thick and it's very hard to get out of this tube. So what had happened was I didn't even have my first tube of this all that long, but just I was struggling so hard to get it squeezed out of the tube that the whole top part of this just busted off. But I had posted about it on Instagram about that instance, you know, saying that, you know, I really like the product, but, you know, the packaging had just fucking busted, you know? But like within an hour, I got a DM from them and they were like, oh, we saw it happen to your product. Give us your address and we'll send you another one. And no shit, like 2 days later, a brand new one showed up in my mailbox for fucking free. So I will say hats off to Lanolips because like, when have you ever heard of that happening? So they definitely stand behind their product. They definitely stand behind their packaging. And yeah, this stuff is fucking great. So yeah, just a nude lip, a very just kind of like clean, even face. Obviously, if you wanted to go in and do like highlight, you could do that. But I mean, look how glowy the skin is. Like it just doesn't need a highlight. If you wanted to do like a soft kind of subtle eye look from here, you could do that. But you could also do like a really intense eye look with this too. I think that would look great if you had like very minimal skin, just very nice natural skin, and then an intense smoky eye. That could look really cool too. I think that this could be very, very beautiful wedding makeup for like a bride, because again, everything is just perfected, it's even, but everything still reads as skin. Nothing really reads very makeup-y. And again, at this point in my life, I'm gonna be 43 next week. This is just what I prefer my skin to look like if I'm going to be wearing makeup at all. And yeah, that's it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out. I definitely will be filming some more videos because I'm just kind of getting back into the groove. I am, if you're not aware, I am running the Lit Cosmetics TikTok account. Lit Cosmetics, the glitter company. I've used them several times on my channel, but I do work for them now doing their TikTok. And so just doing, you know, kind of quick, easy, like product shot videos has kind of gotten me back into the swing of filming and editing and uploading. And I think that just kind of led me to want to do another video for my YouTube channel. And I really did have a good time today. So definitely will be doing more videos in the future. Probably not a lot of uploading, but again, I feel like for very pinpoint specific kind of things. So like covering bruises, you know, I definitely get bruises from like Botox and things like that here and there. So, you know, color correcting. And I feel like I get asked a lot in real life from people like, you know, how would you do this or how would you do that? And I'm like, okay, well, I guess if I made a video that was very specific to that one thing that you could learn something and take something away, I think that I would like to do a little bit more educational style videos. I did love doing this kind of thing for a while there, and it would be really cool to get back into it. I pretty much just abandoned my channel, so again, I haven't even been looking at comments. I didn't know people were still watching my videos, and when I went in today to see like when was the last video I posted, there was like a bunch of comments on a bunch of my old videos, so people are still watching. So thank you for those of you that have kept up, that have been watching, that have left comments. I'm sorry that I didn't go back in and reply or even like comments. I just completely ignored my channel. So I'm back now, for now. We'll see how long this lasts. Yeah, I would like to get back into a more normal routine and posting things a little bit more consistently. We'll see how that goes. I hope you were able to take something away from today's video. I probably will be posting a little bit more in the near future, and I hope you're around for that. For everybody that's asked, when are you gonna get back into making videos and posting to YouTube? Thank you for the encouragement here here I am. We'll get back into this a little bit more. If you have any suggestions on things that you would like to know about, things that you would like to learn, techniques, tips, tricks, any of that kind of stuff, leave those comments down below, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.